a wild podcast appears. Greetings and salutations, people of the internet. This is Master RBG, and welcome to the second ever Random Encounter podcast. Okay, we've actually got a lot to go through, because it's been a while, like a few months, give or take. So, let's get right down to it, shall we? Now, first things first, let's have a moment of silence for the recently ended Miiverse. Ah yes, Miiverse. A service that brought joy to many and created a sense of community among many a Wii U and 3DS player. Goodness knows my sister and I enjoyed using it quite a lot. It was a great resource for when you got stuck in a game, since you could simply pause the game you were stuck in, post a picture on Miiverse, and ask the community of that game for help. Which, after maybe an hour or so, unless if that game wasn't very new, you'd get your answer. Possibly even pics of where you need to go or what you need to get in order to progress. It was also a playground for game-inspired artists, and a source of entertainment in some cases. My sister and I used to enjoy perusing the community for a game called The Letter. To be honest, the game was an absolutely awful horror indie game. I think it was the first attempt to make a game by that developer, and believe me, it showed. It was also obvious they had no concept of how horror works, or basic game design. But the game's Miiverse community was an absolute riot to go through. Seriously, it was funny as the blazes. I'm sad to see the service go, but I remain hopeful that Nintendo will bring it back in a new and upgraded form sometime later on for the Switch. So, Sonic Mania came out between last podcast and this one, and it was everything an old school Sonic fan could ask for, and so much more. It was superb, an absolute delight, a return to form for the Sonic franchise that it desperately needed and deserved. And then Sonic Forces came out much more recently, a game full of promise, but came up short of delivering on it. It has a pretty sweet soundtrack, I'll give it that. And I like the general idea for the plot, mostly. Even the design for Infinite himself is appealing to me. Unfortunately, it's in the level design and gameplay that this game comes up short. Many of the levels just feel uninspired or poorly utilized, and the overwhelming majority of the enemies are really just set pieces. Mere video game straw men, if you will. Because they pose no threat to the player. No more so than your average moving platform anyway. And that just makes the game feel hollow inside, making every victory feel empty and way too easy. And the sad part is that this was the Sonic game actually made by Sonic Team themselves. Sonic Mania was made by fanboys, and girls probably too. But no one from actual Sonic Team. Maybe Sega will call them in again for the next Sonic 3D game. Maybe then we can get a more satisfactory experience. One can hope. Honestly, my inner Sega fanboy is embarrassed that this was the Sonic game that came out right around the same time as what may be the biggest and best reviewed Mario game ever. At least after Mario 64, anyhow. Oh well. Hopefully this will help urge Sega and Sonic Team to do better with Sonic in the future. At least, that's what I hope will happen. So, 4K television is a thing, and it's becoming common enough that both Sony and Microsoft are gunning to take advantage of that market. Now, to be honest, the PlayStation 4 Pro has been out for a while, but the Xbox One X only just recently came out. Although it sure seemed to take a long time between when it was announced and when it actually got here. Is that just me? Might just be me. Anyhow, so now I have both the Xbox One X, which I will still think of as the XOX for short, and the PlayStation 4 Pro, which totally should have been called the PS4K. I mean, come on. It was right there, but they didn't take advantage of it. Anyhow, now personally, I don't have a 4K television, but I am glad that these options exist for gamers who do. I realize that some 4K televisions don't exactly do well with any inputs that are at 1080p or lower quality, which is bad news for people with 4K TVs and slightly older versions of the Xbox One or PlayStation 4. But it is nice that a lot of older games get to benefit from the added raw power of these upgraded 4K systems. I mean, let's be honest, it would have been a pretty jerkish move to force people to not only buy a more expensive version of the current game hardware, but also make them buy all new games in order to see any benefit whatsoever from switching from the previous system version. So, pretty glad they didn't go that route. Oddly enough, I know a lot of Xbox One owners who switched to the new Xbox One X, but not very many PlayStation 4 players who switched to the PlayStation 4 Pro. It's probably apropos of nothing. It's just a thing I noticed. Just saying. As a wise but constantly killed actor once said, winter is coming. And you know what that means. It's only a matter of time until the Steam winter sales start. As if the holidays weren't rough enough on your wallet. I mean, we just got finished with Broketober. Maybe some of my more clever viewers had the foresight to save their money during the summer, during the gaming drought of the summer, to cover for their inevitable splurge on games in the last few months of the year. As for myself, I'll have to use my strength of will to resist the urge to go on a Steam spending spree. Maybe I can better use my time by actually playing and recording some of the games I picked up during the summer Steam sales. Oh yeah, Steam summer sales, forgot about that. I guess that would have hampered those who tried to save money during the summer, huh? Well, at the very least, it would help me get back on top of things schedule-wise. Finally, having a selection of pre-recorded gameplay footage for game reviews would be way better than having to try and play and review the game in the same week. That's what got me behind on my uploading schedule in October. Goodness knows there are plenty of candidates for future review videos. Flint Hook, Shantae Half-Genie Hero, Pit People, Has-Been Heroes, and many more will likely end up as reviews for next year or maybe sometime later this year, depending on how things go. As far as what you guys can look forward to for the remainder of this year, don't you worry. You can expect reviews for Figment, Stick It to the Man, Teslagrad, and many more before the year is over. And you can expect the return of my theory videos, albeit in a slightly altered form. You can also look forward to another abridged Let's Play video, although I'm still debating what game to make it with. I wanted to do one with Until Dawn back in October, but I kinda feel the moment has passed for that. Horizon Zero Dawn or Prey could be fun to mess with. Or maybe I'll go with something completely different. Who knows? Anywho, that's all I've got time for in this podcast, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed making it for you. You can look forward to a review next week. So, stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button. If you'd like to see more of my nonsense in the future, hit that subscribe button. And hit that little notification bell if you'd like to be notified whenever I make a new video and join my notification squad. Anywho, if you'd like to see more videos by me, well, how about these two? Over here, you can check out the first Random Encounter podcast. And over here, you can check out my review from last week for Franbo, a rather lovely little horror title. Check out either one, they're both fantastic, just like you guys have been. Anywho, this is Master RBG, signing off.